Hey everyone, welcome back to, I think this is my fourth video in this Ricky Ruminates series. I can't remember now. But what I want to talk about today is something that has come about after my wife and I went to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the London Palladium this past Tuesday. Well, as of me recording, it was this past Tuesday. I'm not actually sure what date this video will come out, but my wife and I went to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the London Palladium.
Old habits die hard.
Oh man, would I love to just rip off my clothes and hit it.
And he was talking about his new book, which is called Be Useful. Now, I am aware that Arnold he has been a political figure, and of course, if you've been involved with some of the negative stuff, there's always negative stuff with politics. If you've been involved with the negative stuff with his politics, then I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to get involved with the politics in this video. I'm not here to talk about that. So straight away, I'll just put that aside, just to clear it, just to clarify, you know. With that out of the way, then I wanted to talk about something that he mentioned, and it's sort of stuck with me. It's actually stuck with both myself and my wife, and that has been exactly, well, it's the title of his new book, which is Be Useful. And I wanted to make this video because he mentions, well, he doesn't mention, he talks at length about how important it is to have a vision, to have ambition for what you want in your life, basically. Because, and there's a statistic out, it's mentioned, it's something like 78 to 75% of Americans hate their job, which is that's a staggering statistic. And I am fortunate to be in the position where I'm not one of those people. Everybody has bad days at work, but I don't hate my job, that's for sure. So I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to make this video as I guess I'm gearing this towards the younger viewers that I have, because one of the things that struck me really hard about this conversation was the number, and I've done this, the number of times we let other people talk us out of what we want to do. It could be anything. It could be something small like, what do you want to do this evening? Well, let someone talk us out of what we want to do this evening. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff, you know. The question is, what do you want for your life? For anything, really. And the influence that other people can have on us in as much as we then don't end up doing what we want because we're influenced by other people. And what I want to pass on is, it doesn't really matter what age you are, I don't think, because we can always turn things around. It's never too late, as they say. But if you're in your early teens and you're watching this, or your late teens or early 20s, that is the prime time. You know, obviously, as I've said, it's never too late, but the prime time, weasel missed. Those early years, and even into the late 20s, early 30s, which is what I am, it's never too late to figure out what your ambition is. BMP3 missed as well. And like I've said, I'm lucky enough to have a job that I do enjoy, and it supports me very, very well, which I'm very grateful for. But there was a time in my life where I let people talk me out of what I wanted to do. And while at the time there were justifiable, well, at the time I thought there were justifiable reasons for talking me out of whatever it was I wanted to do at the time, And I'm not talking about small things. I'm talking about, what job do you want to do? Where do you want your career to go? What do you want your hobbies to be? This sort of stuff. Like, things that really do matter, impact your life long term. I let people talk me out of that stuff that my heart was set on. And I want to encourage anybody, but particularly anybody who is early teens, late teens, watching this right now. If you don't know what your heart is set on, and this is something that Arnold mentions in his book, if you don't know what your heart is set on, turn off all electronic devices. Turn off every distraction that you have in your life. Just turn it off. Sit down with just yourself and really think about, what is it I'm interested in? What is it that really excites me in life? Make sure it's legal, obviously. But what is it that really inspires me to push harder than most people would? And an example I have is one thing I'm pushing for personally right now is I've looked after my mental health quite well. I've looked after my academic health quite well. I finished my degree this year. But in the process of doing that, I neglected my physical health. And for me, my aspiration now is to really work on my physical health, because I really need to do that. And what I'm noticing, and this is what Arnold gets at, is when you have that vision, when you have that drive, and when you've got that, I am going to do this kind of, this is what I want. I'm not doing this for anybody else. I'm not doing this to please people. I'm doing this because this is what I have set my mind on. This is what I want, truly. You end up being able to persevere. You end up being able to achieve more than most other people, because you're not forcing it, you're wanting it. So, for example, and this is an example that Arnold uses as well, it just so happens that for me they kind of line up. When he was in the gym doing his bodybuilding, he would do crazy numbers of sets with each exercise, and people would look at him and say he's crazy, he's overtraining, he's doing this, he's doing that, it's too much. But he never found it difficult to do. He never woke up in the morning and thought, I've got to go to the gym today. That we've all felt that. We've all felt that about doing something. I mean, you might have even felt it in the game if you're doing a contract or whatever, and you're like, I've got to play mediums. I've got to play heavies. That's a really small example of what that feeling is like, but he never had that with what he was doing, because his mind and his heart was set on, this is what I want to do. So it's not work at all. This is what I want. This is what I want to achieve. And when you're like that, you can dig deeper. You can push harder. And it's a really valuable thing to have in life, because if it's in your mind, and again, this is something Arnold says, if it's in your mind and you want it, nobody can take that away from you. Absolutely nobody. If you're determined, like your physical health, you can get an injury, and your physical, your physical health declines because of an injury or whatever. But nobody can take what you want up here away. Nobody can take that from you. That is you. And it's the earlier you can figure that out in life, then the better your life is going to be long term. And there's the key is to never let anybody take that away from you. Banging over there. Don't know what that was. Oh well. But there we go. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is nobody can tell you otherwise. If you're a 14-year-old kid and your heart is set on, I want to be the best gymnast, or I want to be the best artist, I want to be the best mathematician, engineer, whatever it is that your young mind is drawn to, whatever that is, do not let anybody take that away from you, because that spark in you will bring you so much happiness and peace in life when you're in your 30s and your 40s. And it's I think it's something that's kind of neglected these days. We don't I don't seem to see I don't see it very often where kids are encouraged to think long term about what they want, and it's all about these. Yeah, I guess I'm contributing to it as well, I suppose, because I'm making short videos. It's these short videos you flick through, and your life is just consumed by short-term dopamine rushes, because that's what this society is pushing at the moment. But long-term, that can be so destructive, and that is why the things that I picked up from Arnold when I went to see him in London is the things that really, really matter. Well, the thing that really matters in life is finding out just what it is that inspires you. And so I guess the whole point of me making this video is, if you're someone who doesn't know what inspires you, turn the phone off, close your laptop, shut your PC down, turn the iPad off, turn the TV off, whatever it is, turn it all off, and think about what in your life inspired you. What was it that got your heart racing and got you excited and meant and you had that feeling of, I'm doing this I'm pushing to do this well because I want to. And if you already know what that is, if you already know what it is that inspires you, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. Now, obviously, I'll caveat that by saying, be sensible about it. don't well, and when I say sensible, make sure it's legal. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to pass on, because I know I've got viewers of all ages, and things haven't always gone the way I would have liked them to in my life, but that doesn't mean that other people would need to, I guess, relive some of the errors that I've made. And so that's my reason for talking about this, is if you're a youngster, if you're in your teenage years, then that is the time to really think about what it is that interests you, what excites you, what motivates you, and go for it. Just have that determination, the drive, the vision to say, that is what I want my life to be. That's where I want to go. Not because anybody else has told me. That is what I want for me. And so there you go, guys. That is about all I have for this one. I hope this helps somebody. I hope it encourages somebody. Yeah, just keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing. Figure out what it is that makes you tick, basically. That's what this is about. So there we go. That is all I've got, guys. So if you've enjoyed this, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.